good one.
This is going to be spicy. It's a game that we've seen a little bit in recent times, still not so much. Of course, they didn't play each other for a few years, but now to decide Title Tuesday, it feels like the winner here will be the favorite for the rest of the event. This is the final game as well before the second break. Momentum will be on the side of whoever wins. Magnus plays the 4 knights. This has a very drawish reputation. Still a lot of life left, but Magnus is going to trade off some pawns, bring his bishop out. Next, he's going to bring his queen out and try to take this knight, try to wreck the black pawn structure. Magnus is playing a safe-ish opening.
Do you think it's more important to him to win the entire Title Tuesday than it is to get the perfect 11 out of 11?
Oof.
Kind of depending on the situation that he's playing as Hans. Is he a little bit like, ooh?
Yeah, I think this opening has shown that Magnus just wants the tournament victory.
Yeah.
He's half a point ahead, and he knows that he'll stay half a point ahead with the draw. At least of Hans Niemann. Maybe others will make up some ground. But yeah, this opening has a very drawish reputation. Often opposite color bishops, the black bishop will come and trade itself off for the knight later on. And yeah, it's just whether Hans can hold his nerve here. It's going to be hard to beat the world #1 with black from a position like this. Black's 2 bishops balanced out by the doubled pawns.
Let's see what Magnus says.
Bishop g4. Just not a chance I should have given him.
Oof. Super focused, Magnus Carlsen.
Yeah, he's not talking a lot. He's not talking as much as he usually does. In the other games, he's realized that this is serious. He's playing a safer opening than he might usually do. We've seen Magnus play completely crazy openings in Title Tuesday, but not against Hans. That's an opponent he respects a little bit too much to be playing whatever was voted for in the app today.
Exactly. There's a lot of honor, bragging rights on the line. And especially the fact that he's ahead in the tournament means that Magnus is keen to minimize risk. The last couple of moves for black have been a bit mysterious, moving the rook forward into the center and then bringing it back. But now we see the trade of bishop for knight. Very likely, at least. Bishop takes this knight is the most logical move. And we will see opposite color bishops. There's been an early draw on board 3. That's also good news for Magnus Carlsen. If he holds this game, draws against Hans Niemann, it means that he will maintain a decent lead over the rest of the pack. First, there was an attack on this pawn. The white king defended it. The white bishop drops back now. Still slightly better for white due to the better pawn structure. Black with the doubled pawns here. So something for Magnus to play for. It is his type of position as well. Grindy endgame.
And he has played very fast, but so has Hans. They both seem to kind of know where this game has been going the whole way so far. But Magnus does have a way more active king, and they do have opposite colored bishops. So it will be interesting to see if any of them take any risks from this point out.
Yeah. I think especially for Magnus, he's kind of playing with house money here. It's like if everything goes wrong, probably you swap off rooks, you might be a pawn down and you can still draw. For Hans Niemann, if you go down a pawn in conjunction with these weak pawns, it feels like that might be too much. It feels like you might be tipping yourself over the edge there. Magnus shifting his rook across. Black had a chance, maybe a chance he could have taken, should have taken, to trade off rooks. Now this rook move, white might just dodge and say, no trade for you. It will not be opposite color bishops alone. Rooks on the board, there's still winning chances for both sides. As the black bishop drops back, what do you think? Is this going to be a draw that it looks like it should be, or are they both going to press for a win?
Oh, I'm wondering if they're kind of waiting it out a little bit. I feel like there are some things you can test. Oh, Magnus is actually offering a trade of rooks. I would take that as an admittance of drawishness.
Mm-hmm. I would too.
And it would be kind of cool now if Hans is like, hell no. Ooh.
Ooh. He keeps the game alive. We did see the bar say slightly better for white. Probably that just meant that rook's coming off, white can try for a while, but a draw. I think that was brave, Hans Niemann, but it might be brave that backfires because the black king's going to get kicked back soon to a really bad square. Magnus can shift across to this side as well, hit a pawn. He actually just drops back. He's going to try and occupy this open line, and now the black rook has moved away. The white king, I joke about king of the hill, king's getting excited, moving up the board. That's the safest king in an endgame ever. Can never get checked. So active as well.
Oh, yeah, that is a good point. It's like a king on an outpost.
Yeah. If you could turn it into a knight just for a move or two, it would be even better. But still pretty good, that king.
I'm trying to read Magnus's expression because he's played quite fast, but he's been kind of eating and not saying so much during this game. It seems like he's been really focused.
Mm-hmm. Seems a bit passive. Bishop c8 maybe. Bishop d7.
Wants to bring his bishop round. He's talking about bringing his bishop now to c8 to start dislodging the black rook. It's very shaky for Hans Niemann, who's kind of only defending with his rook right now. That's the only active piece. The other two are very, very tied up, holding pawns, but still should be fine, since black's rook doesn't allow the white rook to get into the game. Just as I say that, commentator's curse, Magnus is suddenly much better. He's forced the pawns to dart squares. This is good endgame technique. On dart squares, they're easily blockaded, and they also block in black's bishop. Black's bishop has no good stable outposts. The white bishop does, and it's massively better now for Magnus Carlsen. Still not obvious, but he trades rooks. He's going to try and run with his king later on towards the black pawns.
Oh. And Hans keeps the rooks on the board, but that does mean that that rook is kind of malplaced a little bit, like on the side of the board there.
It's very stuck, right?
Yeah.
It's got no good squares to go to. I'm expecting Magnus to drop his bishop back in the near future and then try to kind of slide over and just lock in the black rook. Hans pushes a pawn. Magnus now is massively better on the eval bar, almost winning. He pushes his pawn forward again. This is typical Magnus Carlsen. He loves putting a pawn as close to promotion as possible and watch that pawn become a new queen. Magnus's pawns usually do queen in endgames. Hans Niemann's almost out of moves. The black rook is going back, but now the bishop can slide forward to defend a pawn, and the white rook will be released to go pawn hunting. Magnus is on the brink of winning in what looked like a dead-drawn endgame.
And it doesn't seem like his reaction has been changing that much. It doesn't seem like he's not at Julian levels of reactions yet.
Yeah, he could learn a few things from Julian Song. I think Magnus might be #1 at chess, but Julian #1 at celebrations. As we see Magnus spend some of his time advantage. Hans Niemann hasn't done much wrong. Like, I can't fault a single one of Hans's moves, but somehow it's got from slightly worse to much worse to almost dead loss now. This is so hard when you play Magnus Carlsen in an endgame. You can kind of see it in Hans's face as well. The energy, the usual passion and anger that drives him isn't there. As the white rook comes in, Magnus hunting down the black bishop, which is actually almost trapped. That is classy, classy play by Magnus Carlsen. That bishop lacks squares. If it drops back in either direction, the white rook will come down to the 7th rank. If white can win this pawn, it's just game over. That white pawn will promote. And I think the bishop just has to sit and defend it. Magnus might keep threatening that bishop, though. He can even sacrifice his rook for the bishop if that means the white pawn goes through. Also, ideas of the bishop dropping back, pawns hanging. That's a strange move, allowing the white rook to slide across now. Magnus Carlsen is going to dislodge that bishop. He's going to take a pawn, and he's about to make a new queen. So close to victory now.
Wow. And Magnus is still keeping his calm. The clocks have approached each other a lot. Magnus only has now about 30 seconds more than Hans, but at a certain point, he was up by more than a minute. So he's invested some time, but it seems like Hans is now starting to realize that this position is very good for Magnus.
Yeah, it's almost automatic as well for Magnus now. You just move your rook out the way, you push your pawn, and there we go. Hans Niemann doesn't want to suffer. He resigns. Magnus, 8 out of